One of the biggest things that I hear when people join my Facebook group or follow me on Instagram, even commenting on videos on my channel here, is I don't know how to be consistent or even get started. So this video is going to pair nicely with last week's video about the mistakes you're making and what to do instead, because this week I'm going to break down exactly what you need to do to get your content scheduled and put out into the world every single week. So if that's something that you're interested in, on how to really just create a routine of sorts, like a workflow for Pinterest, stick around because that's what this video is all about. Hello, if you're new here, I'm Heather Ferris and I run a Pinterest marketing agency where we help bloggers and e-commerce shop owners to get more traffic, more sales, and to overall just grow their businesses using Pinterest. If you're new, please subscribe, especially if you want to learn about Pinterest going into 2021 and you don't want BS tips or advice. I'm going to throw it to you straight, I promise. If you're not new here, welcome back. So excited that you're here. Why don't we just dive into this week's topic and just get started? How do I create a consistent routine so I can show up consistently on Pinterest? I don't know how to be consistent. I don't know how to get started. First things first, this is a very tactical video. I'm not going to be doing as much strategy talk as I normally do in my videos. This is very tactical. So first things first is to set up your Tailwind account. Now, what do I mean by that? Because there's all sorts of things that you can do inside your Tailwind account. But to get things set up from the get-go is to set up your board lists and group common boards together. For example, with my Pinterest marketing Pinterest account, I group all of my Pinterest marketing boards together. Then I group all of my blogging boards. And then I group like ads, like content goes in the same list together. So if you're a home decor blogger, put all your living room stuff, and then all of your bedroom, all of your organizing, all of your green cleaning, things like that. Get your board list set up so you are not searching or trying to remember what boards you have on your profile. The second thing you're going to do inside Tailwind is actually set up your smart schedule. Depending on how much content or how many products that you're trying to promote and how many things you want to send out into the world, this is going to vary for you. A starting place for everybody is 10 pins per day. I think 10 pins per day is a great starting place because a lot of people, when they're just getting started, they don't actually have a lot of content and they're confused about what they can promote. They think they need 10 blog posts before they can get started. It's nonsense. Just don't follow that advice, okay? You can promote shop products, digital products, email landing pages, digital products that you're selling, blog posts, YouTube videos. You can even promote Instagram content if you want to. Just start creating pins for the content that you have. This is why I suggest creating a content hub. I talked about that in last week's video. Go watch that one if you want to learn more about that. But those are the two things that I want you to do. Now, there's a third thing that you can go ahead and do, which is going to tie to a bonus tip I'm going to give you if you watch all the way to the end. And that's to set up some Tailwind tribes. So those are three things. Set up your board list, set up your schedule, set up some Tailwind tribes. You get 5 free on all plus plans. Now, number 2 is to review your content that is coming up in the next 90 days. So no matter what time of the year you're watching this, if you're watching this a year from when I published it, this is still going to be relevant. Watch and look at the next 90 days of content coming up in your business. What holidays, what events are happening in that next 90 days that also correspond with the way that people search for things online. For example, this video is going live in December of 2020. So in the next 90 days, we have Christmas, New Year's, and we have like New Year's resolution stuff, as well as Valentine's Day. So we have a lot of little holidays coming up. I guess they're not really little, they're big. So in the next 90 days, if you were planning this as soon as you watched this video, then those are the things you would be planning for. So I want you to review your content and see what things that you have coming up in your schedule, and that's going to go into the next tip. The next tip is to do keyword research on those blog posts or shop items or pieces of content that you have coming up in the next 90 days. I don't want you to focus on anything else. I want you to just look at those things that are going to be happening in the next 90 days and do your keyword research on Pinterest for those things. So, for example, let's use the Christmas one because that's really popular and very easy to understand and correlate to your own content. I want you to take a look and let's say we are a lifestyle blogger and we are creating content. I have a lifestyle mom blogger in our agency as a client, and she has a lot of gift guides, but she also has a lot of New Year's stuff, like getting back into a rhythm and a routine after the holidays are over. So I want you to look for keywords around that, like how to get your budget in order after the holidays, how to start budgeting in 2021. How to get back into a homeschool rhythm after Christmas, okay? Those kinds of things. That's what I want you to look for. Look for keywords around the trend, but that also correlate to what is coming out of your content. What are they getting out of your content, okay? Now, the next thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna take that keyword research that you found on Pinterest and you're gonna go to Canva. And if you need help with creating pins, I have free Pinterest templates that you can use to kind of get your toes wet. You can also just use you can use the Pinterest templates inside of Canva that come for free with a plus plan or a pro account, whatever it's called. But really, I just want you to get into Canva and I want you to create some Pinterest images using those keywords and those topic items that you have on your list and get them into your schedule for the next month. Maybe you just start with a couple weeks. Typically when we make pins for 1 week at a time, so a 7-day period, but your research can take place over the course of a month. So you do all of your research over the course of a month, the upcoming month. You do your research in advance, you have it stored, and then if you want to make all of your pins now, you can, or you can just make like 7 now and then 7 next week with the same research. Whatever floats your boat, okay? Whatever works for you. I want this to be as easy and as painless as possible for you. Now, what we do in our agency, like I said, is create 7 pins a week. This takes about an hour of our time to do the research, to do the pin design, and then upload it into Tailwind. It's about an hour to do a week's worth of pinning for each of our clients. We've been doing this for a while, so it may take you more like 90 minutes, but set that time aside. I promise, if you consistently do this, you're gonna get faster. Now, the next thing that you're gonna do is take those Pinterest images that you just created and you're gonna write descriptions with those keywords that you also found. So pull those keywords in and write descriptions for your pins. Now, I like to use 5 keyword phrases for every Pinterest description. This gives me 5 chances to show up in search or related topic, related content for, in front of my audience for that pin. So if you do what I do, that's 5 keyword phrases, that's 1 sentence per phrase. You should get about 500 characters out of that, and that's how much Pinterest space you have for a description is 500 characters. So 5 phrases, 5 keywords, write your description using that, and then put that with the Pinterest image. And the next step is the fun part. You're gonna go ahead and pin it. Now you can do this a couple different ways. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you to pin it straight to Pinterest first, okay? Pin it straight to Pinterest first, and then you're gonna come back with the Tailwind extension and pull it into Tailwind drafts. You can do this so many different ways, but I just want you to go ahead and pin it to Pinterest, and then I want you to use the Tailwind extension to then pull it into Tailwind drafts. Once you pull it into Tailwind drafts, you'll be able to assign it to all the other relevant boards in your board list. Should with one click be able to add your board list to your pin, and then from there, you're gonna go ahead and get it into your schedule. So this makes the whole process so much faster because not only have you done all of your research in advance, you've created your Pinterest images in bulk, you batched them. I love batching. You wrote all of your descriptions, but now you've got them all uploaded. They're all ready to be seen on the platform, and now you've pulled them into your schedule and they can go out for the next week without you having to be present to pin them. Now, bonus tips if you watched to the end are to go ahead and add it to Tailwind tribes, those tribes that you found in the beginning. If you don't already have tribes and you went ahead in the beginning and you found tribes, go ahead and add them to those tribes. Now, there's a new feature, a new update that came out with tribes, and that is the pin will not actually publish to tribes until it's live on the platform, which is why I told you to go ahead and publish your pin the very first time to the platform and then pull it into Tailwind. That way, when Tailwind goes to actually add the pin into tribes, it's already live and people can go ahead and start pinning it for you to their own queues. This will get you ahead of the game a little faster. Bonus tip number 2 is to send that Pinterest URL the very first time you pinned it. You'll have a pin URL. Go back and find that guy and then send it to your email list. Something that I used to do in the beginning just to jumpstart my clients' Pinterest views, to let their email lists know that they even had a Pinterest account, was to actually get the pin URL and include it in their weekly newsletter. Typically, most content creators will email about their most recent blog post or video throughout the week, and when you do that, it actually will go ahead and boost your views and your saves on the platform. And when Pinterest sees that, when they see people viewing the pin, saving the pin, clicking on the pin, it tells Pinterest that that is important and that it's relevant to that person, and then they will start not only to show more content of yours to those people, but they will also start to show your content more often to more people in general. It's a win-win. Engagement, signals, you can call it, just like with Google SEO, those signals that Pinterest is getting is important for your content on the algorithm, on the platform in general. So that is it. Oh boy, that is our Pinterest workflow, and I hope that you can take this and make it your own and really dive in and be consistent on Pinterest. Now, I have a free Pinterest strategy guide that walks you through not only the 5 phases of a Pinterest strategy, but also within that guide that I created is a workflow of sorts. Very similar, if not the same, as what I just talked about. And I made it printer friendly so you can actually print it out and check it off if that is, something that you enjoy doing. So the Pinterest strategy guide is for free. Grab it for free. Just input your email address, and the description below will have the link for that. So make sure you grab that for free. That's really it for this week. Make sure you head on over and watch our Pinterest marketing strategy videos and hit that subscribe button if you liked this one. Leave me a comment down below on your biggest takeaway or your biggest light bulb moment from this week's workflow video, and I'll see you next week.